The reason I stopped watching Blue Lock is because of the over-exaggerated, egotistical perspective that they put on the striker in the soccer game. If you would ask Messi and Ronaldo, and they reference them quite a lot, they would not give you the answer that you have to push and double down on your egotistical habits during the soccer game to become a better striker. It is true that strikers sometimes are more egotistical than others, but in general, this is not something that is set in stone. You don't have to be egotistical to be a good striker, not at all. And also how they try to reinvent soccer from ground up was hilarious to me. Don't get me wrong, the anime was promising to me. It looked cool, the animation was great. I liked the atmosphere, and I liked how some of the characters were a little bit psychotic, you know? And I think that in competitive sport, you do sometimes have that. And if you go to the big leagues, you definitely have players that are at least to some degree psychotic and not normal in their minds. Also, the premise that if you do not have a great striker in your team, that it is impossible for you to win the World Cup is been proven wrong so many times. If you just compare it to the team of Spain 2010, when they didn't really have Fernando Torres anymore, they didn't really have a good striker anymore. And I don't mean a good striker, a real striker. They had Fabregas and they had David Villa, but none of these were true strikers like Messi or Fernando Torres. However, they dominated the World Cups. They absolutely obliterated every other team. I think they just lost once against Swiss in the group games, but other than that, they dominated the tournament. They had no problem whatsoever to win the World Cup. And also 2012, for the European Cup, again, the same thing. They lacked a true striker with the number 9, like Fernando Torres, Messi, Ronaldo, Defoe. So I could list a lot of true strikers. The team of Spain didn't have a true striker. However, they had no problem defeating Italy with a true striker with Balotelli. So their premise that the team has to have a true striker is absolutely ridiculous. To try to explain to kids that this is how strikers must behave to become true and full strikers is absolutely ridiculous. And because I played a little bit of soccer, I felt so disconnected to Blue Lock after this. I thought that Super Kickers 2006 made a much better job getting the real dynamics of soccer into the anime. You know, how you go from a youth team to a real team, how you change countries to go play in different teams. Super Kickers 2006 had more of that realistic feeling. If you show Blue Lock to any kid that is playing soccer right now, they could tell you that this is not really how boot camps in soccer work. It is kind of really, it's more like a dystopian view on soccer and how you try to reinvent soccer. You know, I could yap on about it forever, but this is just my take. What do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think about it. Did you feel disconnected? Especially if you're a soccer player, I can imagine that you felt disconnected to all of this nonsense that they're trying to do in the boot camp. If you liked the video, like it, and that was it for me, so I see you next time.